And so Brandon Woodward is dead in LA, in New York. Left LA, gone up to New York, God knows what, ended up dead. I think this story is a tragedy in several levels. However, while nobody knows exactly why he went to New York as yet, or probably New York Police Department knows, but the public doesn't know. Um, let's look at the several angles. Maybe he had an appointment with somebody to do some transaction. And the article says that he checked out of the hotel. Now, I don't know if it meant that he's going to be leaving the hotel, not going back, or he checked out for that day or what. But apparently somebody was in the hotel that called and alerted these guys that he has left now because they were there like half an hour before. And it doesn't take so long for him to leave the hotel to be where they shot him. And so somebody called him and said, well, he's out now. And maybe they gave him an address that he's probably doing his GPS on right around the area he has to pass there. But he noticed the man, according to one of the pictures. He looked back at him briefly, and he continued his walk, looking at his telephone. Now, he seemed to be a felon, and he just can't have a gun or so. But then you don't get into certain type of situations. If he had a gun, you're walking, you got to be looking. You just can't be, focusing on your stuff like that. Stop, brace your back to the wall if you're going to do a check and look around. But it's not to say that he was, sort of caught by surprise. He saw the guy. He looked around and saw him, but for some reason or the other, he's so nonchalant and probably thinking in terms of everything's going to be good that he didn't even suspect the guy. And if he had, it was already over because this guy would have shot him if he tried to attack him or if he tried to defend himself one way or another. He might have shot him in the head. Some other part of the body would have shot him. Could it be that some rap, something, he had a good song and he sent it over to some folks in New York and he's now coming to maybe follow it up, maybe work at it to produce it or sell it or something like that? I think more or less it's that and not necessarily drugs, because he should know that he's now in law school. He wants to change his life around. Of course, he didn't stand a prayer in law school because when he graduated, he has all these background checks and character stuff to do that. It's hardly likely he would have been able to practice it. But nevertheless, he was kind of like focused on that. And so they just robbed him and took his work, and that's the end of that. But again, on the side of the bandits now, they seem to forget that everywhere now there are cameras. Now, if they had maybe lured him into Central Park or someplace like that, it would have been different. But if you had gone to the hotel has cameras in there. Walking down the street, there are cameras. So the camera saw him park the car. Some people say that you don't get to park in Manhattan just like that. Well, that's here, not there. Either they had somebody marking that spot, so nobody could have come in at least, or they might have had a car in there, and when he phoned, I'm coming up now, he just moved out and gave him that space. But somebody seemed to have been in the hotel and called them and give them, the particulars of how he's dressed, or they probably knowing from the picture he might have given them or something like that. So he was probably lured into New York to be gunned down. And I think it's about a rap. Then we remember TuPac and Biggie, Mr. Big or whatever. And so on. But here it is now. He's waiting like half an hour for his to assassinate this guy. And he comes out of the car, he has his hoodie down, he's there. When he saw the man come put on the hoodie, now he's moving out. No, that is not important. This guy doesn't probably know him. Or even if the guy was able to see his face, he's going to kill him, so it doesn't matter. But where it matters is that the camera was rolling and saw him, hanging around the car without his hoodie on. When he actually put it on, so they got him. Then again, they got the car numbers. And what I'm finding too, these killers are operating different now. They're professionals. Here in Puerto Rico, one individual was gunned down not too far from here. He was working at one of the shipping companies on a long time and moving up in the ranks. They gunned him down. And the car just drove off normal, just going down the road. Not no speeding so that they're going to catch it, draw attention of anybody and so on, or have an accident or anything like that. So the same silver car just moved out, gone, stopped at the stop lights, turn, moving, and all that. And so they just kept checking all the cameras around, and they were able to track the car to some person who rented it, to rent the car, and then they're going to tell them who went with it, and then the case is solved. So you know, you ask yourself if it was really worth it all. You know, they killed him for whatever reason, and now they're going to be caught. And I think New York does the execution thing, so that's first degree. There's no question about it. All the conspirators are also subject to the death penalty. Um, you know, it's not no innocence and no self-defense, and not no defense that you could present except, you know, first degree murder. Use a deadly weapon. He had intended to kill the guy. He waited around. He doesn't have any mental problems. It is committed in a felony. It's a felony there to sort of assassinate somebody just like that, and all people are going to be involved in that. And he, of course, used a deadly weapon. So, man, he had all the bases covered. And it's a tragedy, though, that nothing could bring back Brandon. And it behoves us all to, you know, be careful with the people we associate with and we do business with. It might be better hadn't he even ever thought of whatever business it was. Oh, I'm going to make some millions. Well, if you're dead and no millions, better yet stayed with his law, and hopefully he probably could have worked as a paralegal and work on his character thing and see if some way, somehow, is a possibility that he could be exonerated and get to practice law and so on. But here he's gone. So, you know, you just can't be, you know, nonchalant. You got to be on your guard. You don't just walk on the road looking at you could be robbed, you could run into a post, you could get killed. I mean, so many different things could happen. You get vigilant, watch your place. And as a matter of fact, if he was on the other side of the road, it would be difficult. That day, he might have been spared. They would have had to regroup and some other situation, but you walk straight and did. You got to change your route around, man. Walk on the side, go across the road, walk on the side for a block, come back on the side. You know what I mean? You got to change things around, or else you could get killed easily.